Karine, I just wanted to ask you about the situation on the southwest border. As we know, some cities are claiming that they're at a breaking point with regards to the humanitarian crisis that is ongoing down there. I know that there was an agreement signed with Mexico over the weekend. I wonder if the administration is in touch with these cities down on the border and if there's other actions that the White House is considering to address the issue that is taking place down at the border.
So I'm going to have to point you to the readout from CBP, as you just mentioned. They issued a readout of their conversation with the Mexican government over the weekend. So regarding their engagement, so certainly would have you reach out to them, and they could lay out specifically how that engagement went, and also refer you to the readouts more specifically as well.
Karine, just to clarify, since President Biden will be making this trip, does this mean he supports the 40% pay increase and 32-hour work week?
I'm not going to get into the details of what's being negotiated right now on the table with certainly with the parties. What we're saying is that we support the auto workers. That's what you're going to see with the president tomorrow. This is a historic event, a historic trip, and this continues to show how indeed this president is the most pro-union president in history, and he stands by the side of workers. This is what you're going to see tomorrow.
You need to understand that our food safety responsibilities are divided. The USDA has responsibility for meat, poultry, and processed eggs. FDA has responsibility for everything else. I'll show you how silly this is. If you order a pepperoni pizza, we're guaranteeing the safety of it because there's meat on that pizza. If you order a cheese pizza, you're looking at FDA.
So are not all food inspectors considered essential workers, just ones affiliated with meat?
Well, I can't speak to what HHS does or what FDA does. That's why I think you should visit with them.
Has the Department of Agriculture seen anything in the purchase of farmland by Chinese corporations or Chinese nationals that would suggest a threat to national security or food security? Or are those concerns that we've increasingly been hearing about, are those overblown?
Well, I think there's concern, as there was in the North Dakota circumstance, where the Chinese interest was purchasing land near a military installation. I think there's legitimate concerns in that space, and I think that's one of the reasons why we've articulated the need as a department to be more engaged in the CFIUS process. I would also say that I think there's work to be done to give us the tools to be able to do an even better job of ensuring that we know when these transactions take place. It's complicated, but every county has their county recorder. And on any given day, somebody may walk into that recorder's office and file a deed, and there's no way of knowing precisely whether or not that is a Chinese purchaser.
It sounds like you're not confident in the current system as it's set up to necessarily monitor.
Well, it's not that I'm not confident. It's that I think we could be, I think we're confident in the job we're doing today, because we are able to identify circumstances, as was the case in North Dakota. I think that if folks are looking for a foolproof system so that nothing gets through the cracks, then I think there are ways in which we can be helpful and we can improve that process. Being part of CFIUS, I think, is part of it. Being able to collect information in a way that allows us to go a little bit deeper and a little quicker.